Okay, welcome to the girl in the green dress, or a couple of you were actually doing it in blue. Um, Today we are going to go through everything but the hair. Um, some of the stitches are very, very simple. And what we'll do is we're going to go through the stitch guide, and the more difficult stitches, I've done a tutorial on them already, and I will upload them when I upload this um this Zoom call. Okay? And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them along the way, because somebody else might have that question as well. And this should be interactive. All right. Probably the most difficult stitches might be the background stitch. And somebody actually asked me for a bigger picture of it. So if there's a stitch that you would like a bigger picture of, I can always email that over to you as well. What you should have received in your package, you should have received Silk Lame Petite in white. You should have received a package of sequins, some Easy 6000. Should have received a couple of colors for her hair. You should have received some painter's thread, straw silk, and some soie agere for the skin, vineyard silk and topiary. You should have received some silk ply for the skirt and the bodice, a little bit of linen, and Sundance beads and beading thread. Is anybody missing anything? No. And you would have had a needle minder that was made exclusively for us, along
Is
with stretcher
the
bars.
linen is brown?
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. And the stretcher bars.
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, do you want to jump in? Are you ready to jump in?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the first stitch, we will start with some people start with the background. Some people start in the middle. The background is white. Everything else has color. Normally, you're going to start with your lightest color. All right. I don't think I did the background first, but that being said, I'm going to show you the background stitch first. And I'm going to switch my camera over, and I'm a left-handed person. So if there's something you can't see, I'm going to try to show it so you can see it clearly. And I'm using a different color. I'm using a different color thread. I probably should have brought more thread over, but okay. So the first thing you're going to do is your thread is in, and you're going to go 1, 2, 3, down into the 4th.
Recording in progress.
Okay. The easiest way to do this is to come down, and because you're basically making a cross.
I can't get it to turn on.
So you're going to go down, and they all are going to come, they're all going to intersect. For this first part, they're all going to intersect, and you're not able to see this, are you? Hold on. There you go. Okay, let me start over. This way you can see it. Okay, so you're going to go down 3 and into your 4th stitch. Then you're going to come down another 3 and come back into that same stitch. The easiest way to do it is to do that. And then you're going to do the same thing. And they all intersect in the same place. I started there, and then I went out and did the smaller ones. And I did that for a reason. I set myself up. It's easier to do. Now, the thread that you're using is the SPO2, which is a very small thread. All right, very thin, which makes it easier when you're using that type of thread to not worry so much about the back, because this is an open stitch, right? And when you're doing an open stitch, you have to be careful of the threads in back. You don't want threads all over the place. So pull that down, and then you're going to come over, then you can move over to this side, and you can do your little cross, which is over one, then up one. And then you can start your next 1, 2, 3, 4, and repeat the pattern. And I pretty much went in rows, and I did that for a reason. It allowed me to set up for the next row. You
So
guys want
is,
to try that for a second? Nancy, you have a question?
I do. Is the little cross not sharing the hole with the bigger?
It's not sharing a hole.
Okay.
So you're
it's a
just going to
little
go
hard.
underneath and up.
Yeah, it's just a little hard to see on this small.
It is hard to see
diagram.
on the small. Okay, so try that for a second. See how it feels.
Do you have a recommendation for where to start? Should we start in the middle?
I pretty much
Or-
started at the place that I could do the longest
Run.
row,
Okay,
okay, which would probably be your top.
the top, yeah.
You will have some compensation. So, which is probably why I didn't do it first. I probably did everything else around it. That way I didn't have to, that way I wasn't so worried about what was behind it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Especially with the hair. But that being said, the first row, if I went back and I did the first row, because the next row, you're going to line up your big star, you're going to line up your big snowflake with the small piece here, because it's every other. And I will tell you, once you get your pattern done, it's a piece of cake. And it's just getting that pattern done. And that once the first 2 rows are done, you're good to go.
Do you
Susan,
recommend
you look
working?
like you might be confused.
Should you work horizontally or vertically?
I worked horizontally,
Okay.
but Kathy, there's nothing wrong with working vertically. That might work well for you.
And do you want it to end up being symmetrical, or doesn't that really matter?
You do want it to end up being symmetrical. I went in fairly tight on mine. You know, you want to make sure you have a couple extra rows. I'm coming back over. Hold on. You want to make sure that you have a couple extra rows, because you're going to lose 2 rows in when you want to make sure that you have a couple extra rows at your widest point, because you're going to lose a couple when you go to get it finished, depending on how you do get it finished. Like some people might frame it. I had mine finished as an easel back because it's only going to be out at Christmas. So why would I like really go to get a frame? I'm not going to hang it. It's not going to hang on a wall. So what I did is I had it finished as an easel back.
Got it. Oh,
That
that's-
way it can just go out at Christmas. So as you can see how tight it is next to that. And
Okay.
and I lost 2 rows. It is an
Okay.
open stitch. So if it doesn't, as long as you go out enough to lose 2 rows. It's this one, think of it as like a pillow. So for a pillow for framing, you do have to do 2 extra rows. So take it out as far as you feel comfortable. You don't want to lose anything.
Michelle, did you already do the hair? Did you? 'cause
Nope,
I
the hair
heard-
is going to be the very last thing we do.
Okay.
Okay, and we won't get into that until the next session.
Okay.
But what I will do is I will upload the tutorial for it, which I did it in pieces because some people will be ahead. Does the snowflake make sense to everybody?
Yes, thank you.
Susan, does it make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
a larger picture of it would be helpful though.
I will send you the larger picture because a couple people have asked for
Yeah,
that. So when I
That
send
would be
out
great.
the link this afternoon along with the tutorial links,
You lost your volume.
Oh, can't hear you.
There you go.
Can't hear you.
when I send out the
Okay.
links this afternoon, I will make sure you get the larger picture of this.
The background, you're doing the background with a single strand of the silk lame pati?
Yes. So it's a very open stitch.
Could you also number how you do the stitch?
I sure can.
Thank you. That would be very helpful.
I sure can do that. Okay. So hold on. I thought I brought a whole bunch of thread, but hold on just a second. I'm going to go get some more. I had a whole bunch with me too. I did bring it with me. Okay. So has everybody here done turkey work?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay. So there's Kristen taught me an easy way to do turkey work. A really easy way. I kind of feel guilty doing this way because this is the only way I can do it.
Your little graph, is that this easy way that you do it?
It's an easy way to do it.
Yeah, but is that what your graph shows in our handout?
Yep.
Okay. Is that the jump through the loop method?
It is kind of, it's like a backwards lazy daisy.
Yeah, okay.
And I will show you. All right, if my camera would work. Hold on. Sorry, folks. There you go. Okay. That's not where I wanted to go in. Okay, so for this one, start at the top or at the bottom. I don't care which place you start. I covered her baubles on the bottom. I did not show them. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to do a loop going into the same hole. You're going to hold on to it. Go into the hole above it. Come over it. And that's secure. And that's
Nice.
all you're doing.
And how big should those loops be?
This is probably a little too long. This is probably a little too long. But that being said, you have an entire skein. You won't use the entire skein. You could make it as big as you want to, that you feel comfortable, because remember, you're going to cut it. All right. So you're gonna, and you, whatever row you start, you're gonna go across. And then if you're starting at the top, sometimes it's easier to start at the top, and I'll tell you why. Because if you start at the top, you can hold the other one, you can kind of hold it back as you're going through it. Hold on, this thread's a little too long. Push that aside. So about that long should be good. But remember, depending on how long you want or how big you want that portion to be, will depend on how much you want to use. You can cut as much as you want, but you can't bring it back. And once you finish that row, you can hold that like that and go on to the next row. So it's easier if you start at the top because you can always push it back. It's harder to do that probably than push it down. So maybe this is the right size. I know that I tend to go a little bit long, and then you don't even have to cut it until the end unless it gets in your way. You might want to cut it a little bit, but we'll cut it. If you start working on it and you've never done it before and you're afraid to cut it, let's wait to cut it until the next time we're together. Okay? Because I'm going to have you cut it in little steps. I'm not going to have you cut it all at once. But when you are ready to cut it, I'll just do a couple more.
Did you do turkey work under where her hair is going to be, or did you skip that?
I did it over her hair. Well, yes, under her hair, where her hair is going to be. So,
Michelle, I just
Mhm.
have, I have one, this is the flesh color we're talking about, right?
this is,
No.
The green.
I use the topiary in, it's the Vineyard Silk. Let me come back here.
Let's see.
Okay. So what I did with her hair, so what I did is I went over her hair, and then I just did her hair down here. So it is covered.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
that makes
So
And then
sense.
what-
her ponytail over it.
Yeah. Cool.
What are you talking about now? The green?
She had asked whether we're talking about this part right here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought you were talking about the
So
flesh.
you were going to go
going-
directly, you were going to go over it.
Okay,
The turkey work will be over it.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The turkey works over the hair and the skin.
Over the hair.
Okay,
And if you find yourself struggling, feel free to text me or email me. We can always do some FaceTime as well. But do you understand how that is done?
That's for this is for the stole part of it. Am I correct?
This is the stole part, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
now, I'm doing mine in blues.
Mm-hmm.
This topiary vineyard silk, I'm not sure I know what that is.
No, you would have a different color, Vineyard Silk, you'd have a blue one. You have a silk, you have a 6-ply silk or an 8-ply, and then you have a blue Vineyard Silk. It has an orange. There you go. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
And Barbara, you're the same thing. I have a pair of scissors. Okay, that's what you're gonna do your stolen. Go over her hair.
Okay.
Don't worry about her hair.
Do you do the skin first?
You can do the skin first.
And
Um,
what color is that one going to be?
the skin is the color from, I'd split, because you don't use a lot of it. You have a soie in there. It's kind of a pinkish,
I have a big
pale
strip.
color.
I don't,
Yes.
I don't have that at all.
Nope, you
Krista.
would. There's not a lot of it. It was kitted separately. It's not a full skein.
It's
Uh,
just one strand.
It's just some strands.
the only thing that I have single strands of is the green for the leaves. I have nothing else.
Okay, I will get you that.
Okay,
Okay.
glad I asked.
How many of the soie do we use for the skin?
I used 3,
Okay.
and that is a skip tent. Does everybody know what a skip tent is?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
my favorite stitch.
I know, isn't it
Yeah.
a good stitch?
It is a good stitch.
And choose your direction and just go with it.
But you don't want it, you want it all in one direction. You don't want the one that alternates.
No, not the one that alternates, just go in one direction.
Okay.
And I tried I tried lots of different things there. I tried a peach color and silk lame. I tried many things and nothing was really working. So I ended up with this soie. And I'm like, okay, that will work because because her skin it's deep
Yeah.
and kind of offsetting. So, and what I did with that one is with the braid, whatever color your braid is, all right, I did go down the middle and I did just kind of a weird satin stitch. So I just kind of pulled it over in layers. So I had a little bit of bulk there because you can't hide that. The only way to hide that, because it's painted, is to do a little bit of the hair. And I actually don't think I put that in the stitch guide, which I will amend.
Do you know what the number of the soie d'Alger is? In case we run out.
I will get that for you. I think it's, I have it in a box. I have a full box. You should not run out.
It's 2912 according to
Yeah,
our,
I think it
red
looks like,
list.
that's what I was gonna say, 2912.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But you should have plenty to do that. So that's her skin in the bottom of the hair. And it doesn't matter which color you use of the colors that you have. It's totally up to you. Okay. The next one we'll look at is, this one will take some time to do, is the brocade stitch for her skirt. This one I found, I will tell you this, there was a lot of redoing on this one. I had to, until I found the pattern, I had to go back and do it again and again and again. So it was I fell in love with it, but I did have to do it over.
okay, and it looks like you stitched over the lower part of her braid also.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you paint that?
I did paint that.
Okay.
In the bodice, I just did continental stitch. So
Mhm.
it would be covered.
Okay.
I used just, I think that one I used 4-ply. And if you have green paint, and mine's not perfect, go ahead and, or if you have green paint, feel free to paint her braid in a little bit of green to take that out. And you're going to use 3 strands of the green from Planet Earth.
Is that the bodice you're still talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It says 4 strands. You want it 3 strands?
The skirt is 3, the bodice is 4.
Okay.
Yeah, the bodice is 4 to make it a little thicker. And if you want, after, we'll go back and go back and talk about that, but then and then the stitch for the skirt, because the other one is continental or basket weave, whichever one you want. Let me pull up in here to the other camera. Okay. It's called a brocade stitch. And what I really like about this little stitch is it actually makes it, I felt like it was kind of a classic when I was doing it. So this one, let me see if I can pull this over so you guys can see it better.
Yes.
Okay, so this one is over 1. And then right below it, it's over 1. Almost as if you're doing a brick stitch, right? And then this one I have screwed up on it, right next to it, it's over 1. Over 1. All the way around.
When you say over 1, are you over 1 hole or over 1 thread?
Over 1 hole.
Okay.
Okay. And I did this wrong. And this was the problem I had
Yeah, because
when I first got started.
don't they share holes?
They do share holes.
Okay. I can see where this might take a little to get the rhythm
Mhm.
going, since they essentially they share a pair of those stitches
They
too.
share holes. But once you have it, once you have it, it works out great. Okay. And when we were doing the tutorial yesterday, I just kept messing up. Whoops, and I just messed up there. So.
There's so much color. There's so much color. Yeah, I think that.
Just be patient with it. And I will number this one as well, and I will send you the large one of this. There's two. There's one that's not working. It should look like this one here. My tutorial is better. I'll try this again.
So did you stitch each unit by itself? And then
Once
move
I got
on, or-
going, Nancy, what I did is I ended up doing one line
Yeah,
and then going down, and I found that much easier to do.
okay.
Okay? So,
Yeah, because I was looking at your other little stitch example there to your right on your canvas. And it
yeah,
looked
I
like,
ended up
yeah,
being able to really start, once I started moving, it was so much easier to just continue down. And once I got the rhythm, but it did take a while to get that rhythm, to be quite honest. And there was a lot of real ripping. The good thing is I was able to use thread over and over again. Okay, there you go.
and
There you go.
it doesn't look like this is
This one here.
a really open stitch.
Yep.
It is or it isn't.
And then you just go boom. And it comes out so pretty. And then you can go down and just do this line and continue all the way with that line, then come back and do the other, then come back and do the other, and as you see it forming, and it does help. And I will blow this one up for you, and I will put numbers on it of how I did it, and it will make it easy. And then in the end, what I did, and I'll show it. So after it was all said and done, FaceTime.
The second stitch, the second grouping doesn't touch the first grouping. There's a space between, there's a stitch between them.
The two going this way, they don't touch.
Okay,
These two touch,
okay.
okay? And at the end, what I did is I put a bead, and it's very subtle because it's the same color. I put a bead in the center of each one,
This,
and it's very subtle.
on the second row,
On all in the center, yeah, well,
no, it's not about the beads, sorry. On the second row, do the vertical stitches line up with each other or,
they line up with each other.
okay,
The second and the third line up with each other. So think of it, the easiest way to think about it is that you are doing, it feels like a brick stitch because or it feels like it, not necessarily a brick stitch, but they're gonna line up just like this. All right, if you're going this way, they're lining up like this.
so if I were to look down 3 or 4 rows, all the verticals are lined up and all the horizontals are lined up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it just takes a little bit of getting used to. So as I move along, this is lining up here. Line up here. You know that this is going to be one over here. And this will be here. See how it's lining up?
So you basically did like all the top and then came back the bottom and did the bottom on the coming back?
Once I got going. I can tell you that the first few rows, they were done individually until I realized what I was doing. And then I'm like, oh, why didn't I do it this way? So, and then you can do it because that's basically what you're doing. As long as they line up. And I got bored working in the same place the whole time.
Of course you did.
Don't we all?
Isn't there a giant brocade stitch?
What?
Isn't there a giant brocade stitch?
You could do a big brocade stitch. You could take this out a little further if you chose to. There you go. That's your stitch.
Very nice.
Everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. So, I know, Karen, I need to send you these, but, the next stitch would be, has everybody done a stem stitch?
Yes.
I don't think I
Okay.
have.
You have not?
I don't think I have.
Okay. A stem stitch is so easy that I'm just going to continue right here. All right. So your first piece is you're going to take it out a little ways. Just down, and then you're going to come halfway up in the middle of your first stitch. There you go. Bring it down. And now you're going to, when you go back, Karen, you've done these.
I have?
Yes, you did it with the girl.
Okay.
Okay.
If you
You're
say
gonna,
so.
you always, so when you come back down again, you're always going on the right side and you're gonna come back to the top of the last stitch, and that's your stem stitch. On the bottom of the girl. And that's your stem stitch. So you do that for the stems. And then for the leaves, with the exception, so the Cezanne I used as is, and I just did a short and long. And for the straw silk, I took it and stripped it. So you can take that straw silk and you can basically, you can take it and you can go down the middle of it. And it's such a commodity right now. I don't have any. But you can basically take it and strip it down the middle. So it's super thin, and those pines are super thin. So strip it, and then as you're doing your long stitches, just it becomes a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessarily feminine, but
Softer.
softer,
Or lighter.
lighter, because a pine needle is light. It's not a heavy, it's not a heavy leaf. So it's softer. So it does come out to be like these. Exactly. It basically splits, so it's good for an 18 count. And you can go over it more than once with more than one color if you choose to. And fill it to your heart's content. If you find you don't have enough linen, let me know and I'll send you out some more. But you should. I really didn't use that much. And like the beads, I waited to the very, very end to put my sequins on. So I don't put anything on and that is an accessory till the very end of the project. So wait till your hair is done, the whole bit before you put anything on, if you possibly can. And if you've never worked with your canvas in the well, since you are working with beads, I do recommend with you putting your canvas in the well. And what that means is that your stretcher bars are on top of your canvas. All right, and that way, if beads start falling, they're falling inside the canvas and not rolling all over the place. Mine roll all over the place anyway, but I do recommend that.
The
And like I
stems-
said,
the
what?
stems on the leaves on mine are brown. Are we doing those in brown or are you doing those in green?
Nope, I did those in brown. You said you didn't get the linen in the you said you didn't get the linen in the skin, so I'll send that to you as well.
Okay.
You said you only got the greens.
I only got the greens.
Yep, so I'll send those out today.
Okay. You can
Okay,
just put it in an envelope. You don't have to UPS it.
okay, I'll put it in an envelope.
Stamp.
So, any questions?
Nope.
Not
I'm
at
good.
all.
Okay, so does the 22nd work for everybody?
Yes, for me.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll do noon on the 22nd. As soon as this is ready to be, as soon as the recording comes up and tells me it's recorded, sometime this afternoon, I will send you all an email with the link to this, along with the email, along with the tutorials, plus the two that we want to do bigger ones with that include the numbering on it.
Okay, so 22nd is a Tuesday,
Tuesday.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's good for me.
Okay, and if you need any help in between, just text me. I'll put my phone number in there.
So the 22nd is for the girl. It's not the floral one.
You have that one on the 22nd too. You're going to go back to back.
You and I are going to become really good close friends.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay,
Might as well get them all done the same day.
okay.
Okay, and if you have any questions, just text me. And honestly, the hair is not that difficult, and which is why I'll just finish up the tutorial tonight and I'll have him film it. He was getting a little antsy with me yesterday.
Did you use the wig maker stitch for her hair?
The witch stitch?
Wig makers?
No,